3, 2.
Oh my god! Fuck! I don't even know how I got back there. Oh, because I went to the air. I went for rap air horn. Okay. All right. Let's do this again.
Hello, welcome to the Squarebase Show. I'm your host, Rob, one of the Blues Brothers of the Old World, with my friend, Val Heffelfinger. In today's show, we're going to be talking about events you can attend and community news. Bam, bam, bam.
Yes! Yes! Events you can attend, Rob.
Events you can attend. I do want to quickly just apologize to everyone.
You can attend.
I want to quickly apologize to everybody for a couple of weeks delay. It's been a really, really busy time in my life. I won't go over all of the details, but there's both personal, professional, and also health-wise that have affected my ability to do stuff. But I'm super back. Really excited about making Old World content. I'm running a doubles event myself this weekend. Loads of community news.
Make it a double.
Which we're going to talk about. But we're going to jump straight in. Val, how are you?
Robert, I am great. I want our viewers and our listeners to know that we are not a bi-weekly podcast. We aren't doing that. Although we have been bi-weekly for 1 month. That's every other week. In your country, it might be known as fortnightly.
We'd like to add more shows to the mix, to be honest, but we're building into that. In August, I'm running 2 Old World events, which I plan on streaming, if not at least recording the games in full. Right, so recording the games in full is a minimum. Streaming them is further. So that will be streamed directly to Squarebase, which will be a really fun thing for the community. But you were saying, that's been my fault. So it's been a really busy couple of weeks. I was away for an entire week at the World Championships, so that's my fault. But we're going to do even more content in the future. So get ready for that.
Never let them see you apologize, Rob. Has Hookup Master content on YouTube taught you nothing?
I have watched very little of it. I won't lie. I'm sorry. You keep sending me the links, but I keep not watching them. I don't know.
The only time I've ever engaged with it was the brief period of time where there was a Warhammer YouTube personality that was also a quote pickup artist, and that was funny.
Oh, really?
Might still be going.
Okay. Well, I hope he's not. And that would be so. Big news this week. Big news. But before we get into the big news, Dwarfen Mountain holds and some other community news. I would just like to take a shot on not miss and ask Mr. Val Heffelfinger how he feels about an upcoming event.
I feel very excited, Robert. That's right. We are announcing, and we've alluded to this. We've been teasing it. We've been edging the community along to these too reflective, these glasses. I'm breaking the fourth wall. You can see my setup. Yes, we've been teasing for a long time. The Square-based Open Toronto, taking place October 19th and 20th here in Toronto. Yes, that's correct. The acronym is also SBOT.
How did you do it?
How did I do it? It's like it's just creative genius just comes to me in waves. It's amazing. We could call it the SBOT IRL, and it is an event being hosted in a lovely venue, despite what Rob thinks of the pictures I found very haphazardly before the show.
Okay. Let's take the time. Let's all take the time to show. If you listen to the podcast, you're not going to get to see this. But as you can see, there is a picture that looks like Michael Bay's assistant director, son, took the photo.
I mean, this is clearly, not clearly, but one might think this could be just the first screen cap I happened upon of the exterior from Google Street View. But you'll note, guys, air conditioning available, a lovely IV'd exterior. But look at this room. This is what they call in the real estate business a hard loft. It's a hard loft. This is a big old honking venue in the heart of Toronto. We're at 388 Carlaw Avenue, the east side, the correct side of the recently flooded Don Valley. A lot of rain yesterday.
This looks like the set for Coach Carter.
That's right. There's going to be some inspirational halftime speeches. It's going to be quite amazing. But yeah, we my man's Keith is the overlord organizer of this. This room will be hosting around 140K players.
Don't let that put you off. Don't let that put you off.
A smattering of Horus Heresy players, which will put some people off, I'm sure. I mean, we'll put the Horus Heresy players off because old world players potentially higher on the snobbery tier list than the Horus Heresy players. I don't know. Maybe not. And then finally, at least 40 old world players will be playing. Tickets are available now on Best Coast Pairings. We will have the link in the comments, probably even kapachowing right now above our head.
We won't be doing that. And please, for the rest of our life, never do a pachow. Like, if that's okay.
I've pachowed, Rob.
I would like you to not. I'm so sorry. Also, because number one, that's some light thievery. Number two, cringe.
No. I clearly said kapachow.
Which is
totally different
Cup of tea.
Pachow.
Yeah.
Kapachow is not TM'd. That is clearly a square baseism. Very fast. And yeah, so like we're gonna have obviously very lovely terrain. Rob has hosted me at his beautiful venue, the TSN Arena, which is it takes great pride in its terrain layouts. It will take a village also known as the southern portions of this province of Ontario, but we'll have some very nice tables. And we're starting at 40. If we can blow through 40 spots, then we definitely have room to grow, which is pretty cool. Tickets are currently priced early bird price. Early bird price.
Thank you all. There we go. Early bird price.
Please stop.
$105.
Okay, so
that was terrible. I'll just say this again.
I'm going to turn you down. I'm going to turn you down on the software. There's a load of things that need to happen here.
Okay, so I'll just do that normally. Early bird pricing, $105 Canadian, essentially free for those of you guys coming from out of country, unless oil prices go up because of fear of impending doom. But $105 for the next 2 weeks. After that, we'll kick it up to the same price as those ding-dongs playing 40K and Horus Heresy are paying $125 in 2 weeks. So save yourself $20. Get in there early. Let's pack this place to the rafters because they're way up there.
They are high rafters. That is true.
That's a high ceiling, sir.
I think the thing to remember about this, and the reason we're really excited in kicking the show off with this information, is this will be like a big old world event. There haven't been tons and tons of big old world events around the world. I keep forgetting just how many old world events I've ran with some okay to good numbers. I think we're at this doubles event that we're about to have will be the 8th old world event I've ran. We've got 2 in August that are sold out, and then I've just put 2 up for September in Nottingham for 2 more, which is great. So that's even more like old world stuff. But generally, a lot of people are still taking their time. Obviously, we've had events around the world, which I think we should cover at some point because I think it'll be really fun. But we're still really, really early into the edition. And in fact, we haven't even got to the stage where we've got like our seasonal rules, which rumors have started to ramp up about those seasonal rules. So we've kind of talked about this. Before we talk about that, though, I would like to stay focused on this event. This is an opportunity to go to a big North American event, in North America, but in Canada, obviously in Toronto. Not only
that, but actually legitimately in Toronto. This is the overall event is the Toronto Fall Open, and previously been held at the Canadian Legion halls. But this one is at I don't know. I really love this venue. I attended a child's birthday party here once and thought this would be a really great place for a Warhammer event. And lo and behold, someone with more gumption than I had the same thought and booked it. So I'm very, very pleased. Also, if any of you out there see an event go up on Eventbrite at the TSN Arena on October 19th and 20th, don't buy a ticket. Remind Rob that he's in Toronto that weekend.
It's already on my calendar. It's already on my calendar. Okay, so that's another thing as well. If you're a North American person, probably the only opportunity you have in the entire year, this year at least, to play Old World against me is going to be the Espot IRL Toronto. If you would like to, like maybe you're a big Val fan, I'm a big Val fan, so maybe you're like that's the reason I want to go play. I can't wait to make him make agonizing decisions exactly where that fanatic is going to go. Right, that's what it's going to be.
It's going to take me a long time.
But
anyone who's watched the digital version, wow, wait until it's in Meat Space. That's an extra special, sweaty experience. That you just have to be there in person to see.
Yeah, so you get the opportunity to play me.
A party room off of the main gaming hall. So who knows? Maybe we can maybe do some snacks over there. Steps from Queen Street. There's some very great meal and food options. There's probably a bathroom. We got everything at this industrial building / hard loft, October 19th and 20th.
I'm really excited.
Rob.
I'm really excited. I think I've got the 2 armies planned. Don't know exactly which one I'll end up doing.
Robert, I'm calling you out. You stifled a yawn as you said. I'm really excited. I think I'm gonna.
I actually wasn't stifling a yawn. I was moving my jaw for the missing tooth. It actually was.
Oh,
sorry.
Oh, I'm
sorry,
about
bud.
that.
Sorry, bud.
Now I feel bad about that.
That's okay. But anyway, I'm really excited, and you should all go check that out. Which brings us on to other community news. Which will be
okay,
and we'll keep getting updates, right? Like AC will be coming soon. I don't think you're going to do too many deviations. Do you have any plans on any massive deviations from like what we see at a regular event, if there is such a thing, in quotation marks?
Well, I mean, we're looking at October 19th and 20th. We did say that we would get through to the fall before making adjustments, but we may want to maybe bump that up a little bit if there is a tweak. We did a really great show on missions. I think 2 weeks ago, and I think we had a lot of great ideas in there for some light touches. Nothing extreme. I highly doubt we would deviate much from the square base standard. And maybe do some cool stuff with mission design with some light touches. But overall, I'm willing to play this game as she lies. And like you were maybe teasing a bit, I don't know if it'll be before October 19th and 20th, but I mean, there could be some very, very big changes coming from a sort of mission pack perspective from on high, from the Ivory Tower itself.
Yeah.
Could be rebalancing coming. I mean, they did talk about doing rebalancing on this timeline. So we could be looking at a whole new old world by the time the SBOT IRL comes along.
Let's catch everyone up with those rumors. That's a good kind of point to start, like whispers in the wind, if you will. Obviously, with and then we'll talk about the fact that Dwarf Mountain holds like Arcane Journal is out soon. But yeah, the whispers in the wind is that there's going to be some sort of, like Val says, rebalance of some points and units, and also probably some sort of season. Whether that comes in the form of like a book we can buy, a free PDF like that they do, like what they do with stuff like the Necromunda Apocrypha. You have to remember that this is such a different division of the company versus how 40k and Age of Sigmar are run. It's a completely separate. It's a completely separate.
Defense, 40k's balance stuff these days is all PDF based. Like their data slates, and like I guess they probably still have a Munitorium.
Well, they do still do the mission deck in cards, right? Which is what they've just done for Age of Sigmar. But like what I'm trying to say is that the way at least that we've seen, and I think probably Blood Bowl is our closest example of what we've seen. They normally will put out a Spike magazine, which will have new stuff in, which I guess is similar to the Arcane journals like that we use in for Old World. But
that's true.
So I think that's probably very similar in the methodology, but we don't know what this is going to look like, because I feel, and don't forget that big statement after week 1, week 2 that we heard directly from the company, the scope of the project has changed. So what we're looking at is a big, significant change to possibly how match play is going to maybe perform, which I think will be quite interesting. So I think we should be quite excited. There's been rumors of all sorts, maybe further army restrictions. Has been something that we've heard about, whether or not that's like, an encoded rule of 3, a reduction on how many lords or heroes or monsters or high toughness. That's been the kind of like additional, like maybe even magic levels. We don't know. Like there's a bunch of stuff that could come in. So that's on there. I assume that means more missions as well, with an abundance of new missions, and that's where so that is the kind of like, rumor, but that rumor I would describe as rock solid. There is definitely some sort of
rock hard rumor.
Yeah, rock hard rumor. Some sort of book, project, PDF, or something coming to Old World. And I won't lie, I'm actually really excited about that.
Rock hard rumors?
Rock hard rumors. Would you want it to be a year-long rock hard rumor? Like, what would you want from, with the exception of Arcane Journals, Val, pitch me your dream age of, give me
Age of Old World.
Give me your dream kind of tournament setting from Games Workshop.
Oh, I think honestly, annual rebalance refresh is just fine. I think, for example, there's been some feedback that's recently, some really lovely and insightful feedback about the Square-based online tournament, which is coming to a conclusion as we speak. And one of them was just basically talking about how we did locked lists for us. It was a 5 to 6 round event. But people felt that being locked into that list, or at least a couple of people thought that being locked into a list for that long was, it got a little trying, especially if maybe your list wasn't where you wanted it. However, I mean, one of my counterpoints to that is that the game is going to move a lot more slowly than we're used to in any of the other games. And we've already seen that. Functionally, yeah, I mean, some Arcane Journals have dropped and, maybe some minor shifts to the meta, but because it's such a nascent game, it's growing. People are still figuring things out at a very basic level, what the best builds are for various lists. So I think that's a good thing. I think the stability of Old World is one of its features, and it's a double-edged sword because sometimes we're gonna get very dry periods, like we've just come through 3 months without an update. They can do better with that than that. Any kind of acknowledgement of the game on Warcom, which people for whatever reason need. We're here every week, most of the time. Just bi-weekly for the last month. We're back every week. But what I'm trying to get to here is that I think, to answer your question, once a year, any sort of significant revisions or changes, as long as it's informed, and if they are doing things less dictated by the constraints of a book, I know in 40K it was always kind of a bummer. The Munitorum Field Manual would be written for a meta that had long ceased to exist by the time that book was actually released. And so their shift to doing rebalancing largely via, digital updates, I think is great because it's also just feels more timely. I personally believe that there's a really good chance we see, a significant, not necessarily overhaul, but there's no reason to think that they couldn't go in and tinker with core mechanics, with erratas, to adjust the game and how it appears and plays on the table, because I think most people would agree it doesn't necessarily reflect what maybe if we closed our eye and imagined a game of Warhammer right now, especially in match play, is maybe not looking that way. It's become a lot of MSU and monsters. So I could see the devs who, by the way, JTY played in one of the Warhammer World events. We know that they're playing. We know that they're watching. We know that they have play testers out there who are definitely still engaged strongly with this game. So I believe we'll see some errata and some tweaks. And I also believe that once a year would be a really nice touch. The missions, if we got a new pack of missions once a year, that'd be fantastic. So yeah, hopefully they keep to what they've always said, which was rebalancing once a year-ish, and then FAQs so far as needed. I think that would be perfectly acceptable and kind of a best case scenario, because you need time. What do you always talk about? The
production meta. Yeah.
Production meta.
I mean, same thing. Yeah, I agree with you.
Capichow.
Capichow. TM, production meta. I do agree with you that I think a year is fast enough. And I think I would love to hear what everyone who's watching this video, listening to the podcast, thinks. Do you want it to be quicker than that, longer than that, and how do you feel? Like I think still people are putting their armies together, still paying them up, still playing their maybe once a game a week or whatever it might be. So I'd like to see that. I'd also like to see it ensconced in some sort of narrative. That's also happening. I think one of the things I'm really loving about the Arcane journals is this kind of fleshing out of the factions and getting to see a little bit more side grades of of how they play. One of the things I'd really look forward to, and I think this is one of the strengths of the Specialist Design Studio, is that they understand that they can bury a bunch of rules updates in also an extended piece of narrative. And unless we're just going to get that extended narrative happening at every 3-year mark when they put the new edition out, I would think that this would probably be the process of them being able to push a narrative forward. One that I would be, can't give me enough content about Old World. That's a simple answer. That you just can't. And they release Necromunda books they're going out of fashion. Which have got a bunch of information in every time.
Good looking.
So yeah, they look great. There's loads of content in there, and this is from the same company, and same division of the company. So I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm very, very hopeful.
Same room down the hall.
Yeah. Same cubicle, probably. Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised, and I am very hopeful that we actually get a lot more content than we're currently seeing. I know a lot of people are a little bit gutted with how long it's taken to get Dwarven Mountain Holds out. But I think that, that scope of the project, that kind of other, those other words, I think they're going to be looking at the pound signs. They're going to be very excited. And I think the health of this game is going from strength to strength. And I think that we're going to see more and more of that in the future. And I'm hyped. I am.
Yes.
Because I'm not just a tournament narrative guy. Tournament guy. I'm a narrative guy. I'm excited about, me and Val literally had a call the other day. We talked about, we should make a couple of narrative videos. That'd be really fun, me and him.
I think, in the lead up to the Old World, some of the biggest, one of the most exciting things was where they set it, right? And they did, check the sort of timeline setting, which is, just leading up to the Great War Against Chaos at the end of the era of the three emperors in the Old World and in the Empire. So there's just a lot of design space for them to have fun with lore. I can't wait to see, with the scope of the project, changing. I would love to see Black Library starting to get involved more. We've seen one book, but also I want to say something. It's I like the frustration insofar as long as people aren't getting disengaged. I think we are used to a frantic pace of release. If you're used to any of the other games, just about, and so it can be jarring. The radio silence. It's really just the radio silence. I think if they had maintained, something, just not even, you don't need to do releases. Just show that you care, stuff on Warcom, keep a pulse on the community, engage occasionally, even with just a throwaway article. All of those roundtables that they were doing at release and around the Arcane journals were fantastic. So, I would hope that maybe they, with the scope changing, that they start to sort of keep, just maintain it. Just by doing a drip of releases, maybe a roadmap would be great. That being said, I just want to get this out. We have now 4 of 9 official factions. We know there are 3 other named factions included with the core factions in the lore portion of the big blue book, the BBB. And those being Norska, Cathay, and another one. What was the third one? Oh, why brain? Why? Oh, Kislev. There you go.
Yes.
So I think those are high likelihoods that those are armies that we'll see. But even if we're just on the core pace, 1 year from today, we would have 8 of 9 of them out if they maintain their pace, right? So that would be half of all of the books, essentially, if you include the legacy factions. Half of all books updated for a Warhammer fantasy game in 1 year is light speed. All right, that is an incredible pace of development, and they're releasing these lines essentially, from zero. It's not like these things are stuff that they've had in stock in warehouses ready to go for a long time. So the fact that they have more scope, the fact that they have, they've gotten the I'm refreshing the investor relations page on Games Workshop. I can't wait to see what they say about this in their communication to shareholders, if anything. Like I think there's like people were talking about this game being dead, and I still see that comment around, which hurts me personally. It's a personal attack.
Yeah.
Like. They're just patently wrong, and I do hope that people aren't getting down, and that they're getting their armies ready, and they're getting excited to play, and they're finding and continuing to build community, because this is a game that's going to be around for a while, and it's exciting, and that's why we're here.
Yeah,
we get excited about it.
Yeah, I think we're going to get more and more fresh waves of people, but I do think it is good news that we have got an Arcane journal. I think, I think it would have been fine. And I do, and, off the back of this, maybe this could be something for another show. I don't want to go on too much about it, but I really do feel like that they should have and could have a community manager for each of their games. Because, staying engaged and, having the company engaged about their product, literally, like you say, radio silence pretty much for a few months is pretty rubbish.
Yeah, aside from some pithy comments on social media, which missed the tone of the room, let's say, especially when GW whatever it is that caused it, we don't know, but they clearly went through some sort of production hell, in the lead up to Age of Sigmar. There were clearly delays. They finally decided to build a new factory. Way to go, guys! Who could have seen it coming?
6 years too late.
Yeah, no, but the last investor report literally said that they had excess capacity as they were unable to meet demand of the 40K 10th edition. So, guys, there are baby steps here. Baby steps. We're going to get there. Who cares, though? There's lots of beautiful third-party miniatures. There's lots of content, lots of things to sink your teeth into. Come on in. The water's warm. Old World kicks ass.
So then, obviously, we did have the announcement of the Dwarven Mountain Holds. Which we will be reviewing next week, which is super exciting, the Arcane Journal. How do you feel about it? Are you excited?
Oh, tremendously. I mean, anything's going to be a tough act to follow, because obviously the Orc and Goblin Arcane Journal was 10 out of 10. One of the better supplements I've seen them do in any game, and that sounds like a lot, but it really was. It was fantastic. So I'm what do you always call them? Saucy little freaks. I'm very excited to see what sort of things they do with dwarfs to get them maybe a little more dynamic, a little more interesting, or at least give some different looks, some different ways to approach playing with dwarfs. Because I know in the S-Bot they're a tremendously popular faction. People are playing the game. I know at your events they've been a tremendously popular faction. Even I feel myself pulled to play the faction at times.
I fully printed myself an army. I fully printed myself an army.
It was like one of the first things you did was fully.
Yeah, I was like, I'm obviously going to have dwarfs. And then I think their playstyle is just not quite as dynamic as I would like it to be. So they ended up sitting on the shelf versus some of the other armies, with ogres my next on the list.
Can we say that we called it? Pony Cart OP coming up.
Let's go. Yeah, the pony cart's back.
Pony Cart back, baby. It's never been here before. So Pony Cart sounds like they're going to give some sort of a bonus to movement. I think that was mentioned in the release article. Do we want to actually go down the
No. I think it's just so close. We'll do the review next week, but I think that's a good place to kind of wrap up this very short show. It was just meant to be, what's going on, what's back, and we're back on a much more regular schedule, which is I'm really happy about. There's loads more information coming out, which is fun. The Squarebase crew will be bringing you both events and also live streams and also gaming report from those events in the future. So, I mean, I don't know what else we could be giving people. What else do you want? In fact, you know what? That's a great call to action at the end. What stuff would you like to see us be doing that we're not already thinking about? What stuff are you like? I'd love to get this on the table. I'd love to hear that. I've suggested to Val, one of the things I'd like to do is a monthly painting competition. I think one of the things that I've really enjoyed is I've really enjoyed, whenever we have an event, is seeing everyone's minis that they've painted up, because I think it's been really, really cool. And I wouldn't mind if Squarebase once a month, maybe we could start next month, if we're just we're all painting a hero this month, like a foot hero. Yeah, submit your results or something, or a unit, whatever it might be. And I think that would be pretty dope and cool, personally, like to just show them off and you and me look through them over the course of a day. I don't know, I'd enjoy that. I enjoy seeing them at events. I don't know what you think.
Robert,
Yeah.
first of all, as vast content creators, we have to lead from the front. So that would actually mean that you and I would need to commit to painting one thing a month.
You got this.
And I've got this. And do we have this?
We've got this. I will, if it's to win my own tournament, where I'm the judge.
Well, no. We just set the bar. We set the bar, but we set a bar, and then and I think we would be overwhelmed by a fire hose of sick minis, and that's actually. And imagine like all the third party stuff people would come up with.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I think that would be really good. Yeah.
And it's a really wonderful idea. There are so many nooks and crannies because we've gotten, I mean, genuinely, if you're watching the show, because it's not, super gaming focused. We love playing the game. And we also often talk the game from a match play perspective. Rob appreciates that's not the number one way everyone interacts with this game. And there are other avenues which we also love. And that includes the setting, that includes the hobby. So if you guys would like to see some of that content, let us know. Fire us up. Get us going in the comments.
Yeah,
wind us up a bit.
Yeah, do you want to see us do lore? Let us know. Because I think there's lots more to come.
We should come back to the lore. I think the lore, the lore is really interesting from just establishing the setting, because I think a lot of the times people come at this from an end times, and by end times I mean the old Warhammer Fantasy. Not just the very end, but that whole era was the end times essentially. We're in a different timeline. I think it'd be great to really ground it in that. I think there's some cool stuff.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm super excited for that. So do let us know. Thanks for listening. Make sure you come to Toronto. I'm going to Toronto. Val's going to Toronto. If you'd like to be a player at the event, come hang out, be a volunteer, do some photos, shoot some video, let us know. Whatever you want to do. Let's have a big square-based party in Toronto.
Speaking of things we can give you, if you're at the SBOT IRL, high fives, hugs. Well, hey, how are you?
Maybe. Like a sniff, then a hug. That's what you get.
Sniff, then a hug. Oh, you're a hugger, Rob.
I am a hugger. That's true.
I'm gonna get like a mobile, because the other thing that you probably don't appreciate watching the show. We are trying to wind this down, but one last anecdote is just the sheer scale of Rob and Val. Rob's got vertical. I'm a stocky man. There's a lot of hobby meat being presented to you. So if you want to just understand the true scale of this show, the true scale of this community, SBOT IRL, the square-based open Toronto, available now on Best Coast Pairings. 2 new events at the TSN Arena, available right now on Eventbrite. Both links in the description. Let's get it. Come see us.
Thanks for watching the video. Leave some comments, like and subscribe. See you soon. Bye.